Relevatos! What's happening? With 5 out of its 6 parts being new, there's a lot of ground to cover in this Deathscything episode of... It's the third Superking single chassis after 1S and 1D. 1S and 1D are more similar than you think. They actually have the same design, save for 1S having more metal in this portion on both of its sides. 4A, on the other hand, has basically the same design as 1S, save for one side having more metal overall than the other. Here's 1S. Here's 1D. Here's 4A. As shown, 4A takes away the crown of heaviest single chassis from 1S. Here's 1S. Here's 1D. Here's 4A. As shown, both 1S and 1D have 4 teeth of average thickness. 4A, on the other hand, has 3 teeth, the outer 2 being of average thickness and the middle one being thick as thick can be. In fact, it's even thicker than the one from 2A or 3A. Boy, that's thick! Against 1S, this result showed that even though 4A is technically unbalanced, the imbalance is small enough as not to significantly affect a combo's balance and thus its stamina. Even more so when balance tuned. The 1-round loss of 4A was extremely close and could have been a draw depending on the judge. Therefore, both are virtually even in Steven's book. To view the full 10-round battles, please go to the topmost pinned comment in the comment section. It has a unique design in which one side has a long, smooth curve with an integrated metal portion on top. This is to represent an actual scythe, which is a tool for cutting wheat, but I digress. Its other side consists of 3 smaller curves, wherein the biggest 2 have metal underneath them. As such, the longer metal portion placed on top of one side and the shorter metal portion placed at the bottom on the other side makes hollow unbalanced. With the 4A chassis, this imbalance can be lessened. If the heavier side of 4A is oriented on the opposite side as hollow side, this is now balance mode. In the What Do the Stars on Discs Mean episode, the sides or quadrants of a disc with no stars is either lighter or heavier than the rest. Papabey just surmised that this was the case based on Master Blader Horikawa's official statement that discs with 4 stars are balanced. Of course, one has to also take into account how it balances with the rest of its parts, but I digress. Hopefully, this side is heavier so that both the heavier sides of 4A and wheel would balance with the heavier side of hollow. The result consists of hesitations in movement, varying size of flower pattern arcs, and sudden increase or decrease in speed. Now, flipping over both 4A and wheel and orienting both their heavier sides with hollow side would give this combo maximum weight on this side. This is now unbalanced mode. It's more or less the same as balance mode, except for it being a bit more wild, for a lack of a better word. Here's Tempest. Here's Rage. Here's Hollow. As shown, Hollow takes away the crown of heaviest right spin ring from Tempest. Using the Spriggan chip on Glide, using the Spriggan chip on Infinite, using the Spriggan chip on Hollow, as shown, Hollow exposes its sparking chip's teeth higher than the norm, which gives it top-tier burst resistance. In balance mode, it doesn't really hit that hard. In unbalanced mode, it hits a little bit harder, but compared to other top-tier recoil-generating layers like Rage 3A, it pales in comparison. In balance mode, now this, damas y caballeros, is quite a surprise as it's on Extend Plus, and yet it was able to tank the hits of Rage 3A. In balance mode on Mobius, holy cow! It took all the hits while smiling at the camera. Furthermore, its counter-attacks not only stifled Rage 3A's flower pattern movement, but also pushed it back a couple of times. Talk about giving it a taste of its own medicine. In unbalanced mode on Mobius, it was just more of the same. Holy cow! In balance mode, how about that, Vatos? another tasty surprise by beating the king of right spin stamina. Holy shit! In unbalanced mode, oh wow! How the tables have been turned when it's on unbalanced mode. Against Tempest on Mobius, it didn't do too well. Even when using Lucifer 2 with its heavier side oriented on Hollow's lighter side for supposedly more balance. Based on these results, Hollow excels purely on defense as its stamina is a hit or miss. Depending on the parts used, the more balanced it is, the less it will wobble and thus have better stamina. But there lies the biggest challenge one would face, balancing it. Against Tempest on Wheel Extend Plus. It was slaughtered. An awakened Mobius is already an underdog in same spin against Extend Plus. Hollow doesn't change this fact. In balance mode, here's its first weakness. It's a poor spin equalizer. In unbalanced mode, it did slightly better, but overall, it's still bad in opposite spin. And this is the end of part 1, which covered the hollow ring and the 4A chassis. Tune in again for the Deathscyther chip, the 12 disc, the axe frame, and the high Accel dash driver. Same Papabey time, same Papabey channel.